Donald Trump is a big loser who is desperately looking for a win, and that is why he is escalating tensions in Los Angeles. Shit is not going well for him. He looks weak. He's been humiliated over and over the last few weeks. He's been made to look small and incompetent, both here in the States and on the international stage. And so, because he is a fragile narcissist who cannot in any way handle any wounds to his very brittle ego, he has got to try to reassert his dominance and show everybody what a big, strong leader he is. And the only way the narcissists know how to do that is to escalate bullying, intimidation, threats. And I know I've been saying this a lot lately, but the more Trump escalates, the more desperate he is. The escalation of his behavior is evidence of his desperation. And if you want to say like, no, Angela, I've had a couple people say this to me in my comments over the last 2 days. No, this is proof that he's just cementing his control. He actually is this powerful. No, one, don't do that. Do not give him power that he does not have. I'm going to consistently push back every time I hear people saying things that are not true, people catastrophizing, people giving up their rights in advance, people writing fictions in their heads and giving Donald Trump power that he does not have. He is a lying liar, and when he says he can do something, when he says he's going to do something, sure, he may try it, he may try that thing, but it does not mean he is going to succeed. In fact, overwhelmingly, he's lost like 96% of the cases in court. And before you tell me, well, he's just ignoring the courts. He's not doing what they say. He's just denying their rulings and doing whatever he wants. That's not true. That's simply not true. In fact, one of the things that he's so upset about is the fact that this past week he had to bring back 2 migrants after he told the whole world, I'm a big, strong man. The courts cannot make me return migrants that I have wrongfully deported. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. Guess what? He had to do it. He lost so much face. He was absolutely humiliated. He looked small and weak. He was a liar. The courts showed him. He had to bring back 2 folks. And especially bringing back Kilmar Abrego Garcia. That's the guy that he said, there's no way, I won't do it. I can't do it. You can't make me. He tried and tried and tried to stand up against the courts, and the courts said, no, we are not going to accept your intimidation. We're not going to accept your bullying. And it's not just the courts, by the way. So part of the reason that he had to go ahead and bring Kilmar back, and now we can talk in another video about all of the ridiculous claims they're now making about Kilmar, and I know that my mutual hawk has talked about this, so you should go listen to him more than me because he's a lawyer. But part of the reason that they had to bring Kilmar back is because the court was getting ready to start with contempt proceedings. Trump acts like he doesn't have to obey the court. He's not going to obey the court, but then he does, right? So he blusters, he bluffs, he tries to get the court to back down, and they say, no, sweetie, no, you have to do this thing. And I don't want to discount the ways that public pressure has also influenced that, right? What he did to Abrego Garcia was incredibly unpopular. It was seen as cruel. It was definitely illegal, and people knew that. And so the fact that we had a senator and we had at least 5 members of Congress go down to El Salvador, bring media attention to that. They did that because you and I and regular people pressured them to. So the people made a big stink. Our electeds heard from us. They understood the message. They went down. They made a big stink, keeping constant public pressure on that. And the action of the courts meant that Trump did not get his way. And he does not like to not get his way, because he wants you to believe that he doesn't have to bend to the will of the people. He wants you to believe that he doesn't have to obey the courts. So part of what he's doing now in LA is trying to show you that he's above the law, that he doesn't have to listen, because he doesn't want you to listen to the fact that actually he does have to, and he actually is doing what the courts say. You notice how we still have birthright citizenship in this country, even though he tried to do away with it on like day 1. Most of the shit he tries to do fails because he's a big fucking loser. But like, it's not just the immigrants being brought back, right? That's not even beginning to be the tip of the iceberg. I really think the big thing that has caused him to have this narcissistic crash out right now and try and clamp down and like, please everybody think that I'm big and powerful, everybody believe that I'm big and powerful, is that he got completely humiliated with the Taco Trump situation, right? The whole financial sphere calls him Taco. Trump always chickens out. And that name has stuck, and he does not like it. He thought he was doing something big and chaotic and powerful with his tariffs, but time and time again, he'd have to back off when he was pressured to do so. And it's like he thought we weren't going to notice that. He thought that the financial markets were not going to notice that, and they weren't going to give him shit for it. So he's really, that narcissistic injury from being called Taco, that I think is the big thing that has really pushed this escalation of what he's doing now. Because I need you guys to believe I'm a big, strong military leader. I tried to make it sound like I could control international markets and I could do whatever I want. I failed there, so now I'm going to try over here with the military. And again, it's so much more than that. He's absolutely getting owned all over the place. He's been losing to Harvard over and over and over and over. He lost to the law firm Perkins Coie, right? These places where he tried to do a shakedown and it failed. He does not like the fact that they are continually winning when they stand up against him in the courts. Speaking of winning, Ukraine is turning the tide in Russia. Trump thought that he was going to get Ukraine to bend to his will. He was going to do Putin's bidding. He was going to be like, look, Vladimir, look, I'm doing what you want. I'm such a good boy. And he bungled that whole mess. And now Zelensky is absolutely owning him. How humiliating for him. And obviously, we cannot discount his giant public embarrassing breakup with Elon Musk. Trump did not like that. Elon made him look weak. He got a couple of really good zingers in there. Right, we saw those pictures from the Oval Office where it looked like Elon Musk was really running the country. He was standing tall. Trump was hunched over in, behind his desk, and Elon's kid was rubbing boogers all over it. It looked like Elon Musk was in a K-hole, but still running the entire country, and Trump was just having to put up with it because Elon Musk spent whatever it was, $275 million getting Trump elected. And so Trump looked embarrassingly weak, just the physical juxtaposition of the two of them during that press conference. So now when Elon and Trump are breaking up and Elon is owning him over and over on the internet, and then he brings up the Epstein files, something that Republicans say they care a lot about. I mean, Republicans love their save the children and all their QAnon, adrenochrome conspiracy theories about little kids getting abducted. I mean, the Epstein files absolutely happened, and Republicans glommed onto that, and they want to know who's on the list. They don't want to find out that Trump is on it. And you could argue some of what is happening now is meant to be a distraction from that. But I also guarantee Elon tweeting about it, that absolutely enraged Trump. Because, of course, the solution is just release the list. And if you're not on it, then no biggie, right? If you're not on it, then there's no reason you wouldn't want to release the list. So I just want to remind all of us, he desperately wants us to think he is all big, all powerful. We can't stop him. He can do whatever he wants. And I just want to encourage you not to believe that propaganda, that this is very predictable behavior from a narcissist. This is very typical autocratic behavior. The frantic escalation is in response to the fact that he's been shown to be a loser and he's weak over and over and over and over again in the last several weeks. In fact, I want to talk about this in the next video, but there's polling that came out today about how much of a big fat loser his big beautiful bill is. The American people do not like it, are vigorously opposed to it. Republicans are freaking out about how badly their constituents hate it. So add that to the pile of ways that Trump is a big loser. And it's very predictable, both from his position as an autocratic ruler and as somebody who has been, armchair diagnosed by the entire internet to be a narcissist. He's got to desperately prove to everybody how big and powerful he is. And the easiest way to do that is through what he's attempting right now. It doesn't mean that he's going to be successful at any of it. It doesn't mean that it's a display of power. It is a display of his fragility. It is a display of his desperation. And you don't necessarily have to believe me on this. I'm by no means the only person who is making these observations. I know a number of people in my comments are like, Angela, how can you stay so calm? I don't really understand how you're not freaking out. Why are you diminishing our fears? Well, your fears are not based in fact. If your emotions are really escalated and you are tempted to believe the propaganda of Trump, of course I'm going to push back against it. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody that you talk to in your sphere to give Trump power that he doesn't have, to concede any ground to him whatsoever, or to manufacture fictions in your head about worst case scenarios. But again, you don't have to believe just me. In fact, I want to encourage you to go watch two other creators who've been saying similar things. Friendly Honey Badger, who I love her content, and then Oh That's Rich. And I know I like Rich. I think he can be a little bit more hopecore than me, but I agree with both of their assessments. They align very much with my opinion of what's happening right now. Please don't listen to the doomers. Don't let them suck you down. Learn about the tactics that autocrats use. Learn how narcissists behave when they're crashing out. This is not a moment for us to rest on our laurels. He's going to crack down, and so we need to redouble our commitment to holding the line. He's freaking out now because of all of the other ways he's losing as people resist, and he has to back down. When we resist here, he will also back down. That's why it's so crucial to keep holding the line.